Today was a day that I would go hiking with my good friend Dylan. We were kind of on bad terms before, and I wanted to patch that up. So it was my plan that we would go down to Topanga Park and we'd go visit some crazy hardcore geocaches, like really high, almost 5-star ratings for both of them. We were going to the Lair of the Leprechaun and return to Scab Island. So we go out and we drive. We have this really nice drive, 50 minutes all the way down Topanga Canyon, and we get down to the beach and there's beautiful waves. It's really pretty, and we drive up and we go hiking up, and it's just gorgeous territory. There's woods everywhere, and we've got, there's rocks and there are dry creeks. It's still Southern California, so it's rather dry, but it's gorgeous, and we're having a good time talking and having fun. And I've got my new Vibrant 5 Fingers, which are the, the shoe that wraps around your toes like a glove. And it was really great for me because I could feel everything on my feet, and it felt like I was barefoot walking, but with the protection. It was great. And we're a mile in, and we're going across this all these pools of water, and we're jumping on rocks, and we're doing really well. And we don't really know whether we're going in the right direction, but that's part of the fun. It's just figuring our way through the trails blindly, like a maze, but we're a part of it. So we're going down this creek, and we see this rock. It's quite high. Let's say it's about 2 or 3 men tall. But this rock has like little rocks inside it. So, I scramble up it. And the whole time I'm climbing up it, I joke, because I'm like, oh man, my feet are so slippery from going through the water that I can barely grab onto these rocks. The rocks are small, and so I'm both like, I'm clinging onto the rocks, but I'm mostly pulling myself up with my hands. Which really was a time that I was grateful that I've been working out my upper body, because it made it a lot easier to do so. But so I get to the top and I look down, and my friend Dylan is still struggling, and he takes like this weird little corner path, and he starts heading up between these 2 rocks and trying to wedge himself and pull himself up with his feet. And I look at him and I'm like, that doesn't look like a very good way to do it. And then he slips. And I'm like, oh no! And he falls into the lake below. And his leg sort of comes off and bends in a really sort of weird angle as he just falls. But it's just a little thing. And I look down and I'm like, what a klutz. Like, oh Dylan, he's just, not being careful. But then he says to me, oh God, Jonathan, I broke my leg. And I'm like, I can't believe it. Like, it was just this little fall into the water, and he tells me that he thinks his leg is broken, but I see the fear in his eyes, and his leg is loose for a moment, and he's like, I can't move my leg, and I believe him. And so I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I don't think that his leg was quite broken, but it looked like he hurt himself really bad, and as he told me later on, he had dislocated his entire leg, but he managed to get it back in the socket. He did it at the knee joint. It just sort of like broke off. But he managed to get it back in the water. So he's down there, and he's halfway in this pool, and I'm on top, and so I come down, and I have to make him I help him get to a rock, and then I have to take my knife, and I have to find a piece of stick, and break it up and cut it up. And I managed to make him a pretty cool walking stick. Of the perfect moment to be engraved in
together. It was
Yes.
quite the trail.
And then we had to hike a mile back. And we never got to the geocaches we were planning to hit up. I had a really good time, but I don't know, like I'm still really upset because it's just hard to believe how fragile people are. Like this guy really just fell a little bit and he totally messed up his knee. And I really love the guy, so it was upsetting to see, but I don't know. Hopefully he'll get better and someday we'll go back.